All right, let's get started. We're still waiting on oh, there's Danny. Morning, Danny. Actually, I'll give it one more minute. While we're waiting, what I want to do with the note cards real quick is we have a limited number of classes with which to work on the research paper. So we have, next week we just have Wednesday, Friday for class period, since Monday is devoted to individual conferences. The week after that, remember, is week 13. It's Thanksgiving week, so we only meet Monday that week. And then the research paper is due the Sunday after Thanksgiving at the end of week 13. So just maybe spend like a minute real quick and just jot down what you want to work on the most in class, whether that be like a workshop just for those 3 or 4 days. If there's any sort of lessons that you maybe want me to go over a little bit more in reference to the research paper, whether that be academic voice. Can I help you?
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt. But the student left their car keys out in the hall. Did anybody pick up some car keys by any chance?
Anybody? Car keys?
No.
I saw a book up here and a water bottle. No problem. Oh, you're fine. Thank you. So we have some options. We can workshop every one of those days. Just work on the body of the essay, the intro, the conclusion. Morning, Mike. If there's anything else that people feel like I need some more help on, can you do a short presentation on this, or this? There's some options on the board as far as more essay samples, more talking about the research in general, academic voice, the structure of the essay, more genre analysis, things like that, that maybe you feel like you need some more help on. Morning, Joe. Just write down 1 or 2 things that you want to work on the most over the next 2 weeks in class. I'm assuming workshop, but just in case I'm missing anything, there was a lot more content delivery on this one before we got to the point of being able to workshop, similar to Project 1. So I just kind of want to make sure I'm not leaving anything out that people feel like need some more help with. Just take a quick 60 seconds and jot something down, and then pass those note cards to the inside of the aisle, and then we'll get started on today's morning, Charlie.
Every Friday. I'm gonna switch majors.
I'm sorry?
Nameless?
You can put your name on it if you want. Just for weeks 12 and 13, next week and the week after, just jot down one thing that you want to work on the most, basically. Okay, whether that be a workshop or academic voice or genre analysis or the structure of the essay, just one thing that you want to work on. Morning, Mohammed. Yeah, you don't have to put your names on these if you don't want to. You put a fake name if you want. Charlie, you have a note card in front of you. Just jot down one thing you want to work on over the next 2 weeks in class in terms of the research paper. I put some options on the board there. Chairs? There's one to your right, Charlie. Okay. Yeah, just pass those to the inside of the aisle. Maybe another 30 seconds. I'll come back for it. Okay, so a few people are finishing those up. So a couple of things I wanted to go over before we actually get started today. Today's going to be primarily a workshop day, as I mentioned on Blackboard. I know we've done a lot of content delivery so far and group work and whatnot, but it's time to actually get started working on the essay. I know a lot of people enjoyed the in-class individual workshops based on the previous feedback I got on the note card, so we're going to start working on that today. I handed out an outline. Who did not get an outline handout real quick?
I did.
Pass it around, please.
I think I need one too, Sean.
You need one too, Charlie? Joe?
Thank you.
Justin, you need one? Yep. Okay, pass these over to Justin. This is the same thing that I posted on Blackboard, but I just promised that I was going to bring hard copies of it in. You know I can. Thank you. Better? What?
Thank you.
Okay, so just real quick as to this, changed things up a little bit this week. So instead of having homework due on Sunday night, what we're gonna, okay. I'm gonna have everyone bring their outline into the individual conference. Okay. And as well, I need you to find and then cite 2 additional sources. Remember, we need 4 additional sources for the research paper. So in terms of what we're doing this week for homework and for the individual conference is constructing an outline. This is just a template. You don't have to follow this directly, but this is just to give you a rough idea of what I'm looking for in terms of an outline. The introduction, the basic structure is going to be introduction, body, and conclusion. We're all pretty familiar with that structure. Within the body, you're going to want to list, usually 3 points based on whatever argument type that you choose, that you're going to then provide supporting evidence for each one of those 3 points. And then somewhere in here, if you look at Roman numeral 3, you'll see counter arguments and responses to them. You can devote a paragraph or 2. So whatever claim you make, there's going to be an opposing viewpoint to that claim, whatever argument you're making. Otherwise, it's too easy of an argument, and a couple of people, I let them know about that on the argument template. So somewhere in the body of this essay, whether you want to do the first paragraph, the last paragraph, or whether you want to kind of interweave the counterpoint to your claim within your main body paragraph, I need to see some evidence that you're not only identifying and defining a counter argument, but that you're refuting that argument based on your own claim and your own resources and research. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So it doesn't have to be structured exactly like this, but this is all the information that I need for the outline. So for the individual conference, I need you to bring in the outline, a hard copy of it, okay, along with just MLA citations of 2 additional sources. So, just the 3-line citations where you list the journal, the author, ProQuest, web, date, all that good information. I need to see evidence of 2 additional sources on the hard copy. It can be on the same outline. You don't need to have a separate form for that. So make sure to have the outline, the 2 additional sources on a hard copy brought to me during the individual conference, and that's going to account for 2% of your grade, a single homework assignment, okay? And then the conference itself, just showing up and going through the 15-minute conference, that's another homework assignment, and 2% is just your attendance to that. So there's 4% of your grade comprised between the conference and then the bringing in of the outline with the MLA citations. Is that cool? Is everyone on board with that?
Yes.
Okay, we're down real quick.
Wait, do we have to include our resources from our iSearch?
No, not for the individual conference. For the research paper, yes, you want to include your 3 sources. So you have you just need 2 additional sources, different than your first 3 sources, okay? You don't need to bring in the actual sources, just
2 or 3?
2 additional. It can be 1 academic, 1 popular, 2 academic, 2 popular. For your 4 additional, you need at least 2 academic. Okay, so you can do 2 academic, 2 popular, 3 academic, 1 popular, 4 academic. For the conference, you need to just bring in 2 of those.
Okay.
Okay, Therese.
What exactly is a
Popular source, remember we went over this. Think of Project 1 where we got our sources from. The Daily Beast, The Economist, Rolling Stone, Time, things of those nature. I'm sorry?
Yeah.
You can find them in the database, but they're not going to be peer reviewed. They're not going to have the abstract. They're not going to have the PhD insignia. They're going to look. We've gone over the difference between popular and academic sources. Okay. Ethan? Oh, nothing. Okay.
I asked him a question.
Oh, okay. So does that make sense? Does everybody know what we're bringing to the individual conference?
Yes.
So just make sure you show up on time. Like I said, these are 15-minute blocks, butted up against one another. So make sure to plan on arriving early so that you get there on time. And then bring the outline, bring the citations, and then we'll go over grade, attendance, and mostly just go over research. Make sure that you're on the right track with the research paper. Okay. Cool. Joe.
My suggestions are done.
Oh, okay. I'll come and grab that in a minute. So I graded all the iSearch papers, and I graded all the argument templates. Everything looks really good. Like the iSearch, I put it on Blackboard. The grade average was a high B, a B+, so I'm very happy about that. Very impressed. Everyone, did a good job, basically, for the most part. One thing that I do need to see between the iSearch and the research project is what a lot of people did when they talked about their research is they simply summarized their sources, which was a part of the essay, was a part of the rubric. But what I need to see more of, especially for the research, is analyzing the sources more and connecting one source to another source. Remember talking about the conversation, how one source relates to another source, relates to another source. You don't have to do it obviously with all 7, but I need to see some evidence that you're weaving in these different sources in with one another somewhere in the body of this essay. Because what I saw a lot of was, here's one source, here's a summary, here's my second source, here's a summary, here's my third source, here's a summary, here's my conclusion, done. I didn't see any sort of like interconnectedness. I saw some, but for the most part, that was what was weakest about the iSearch paper as a class, okay? So make sure to be conscious of that and diligent about connecting those sources to each other, and especially to analyze those sources, not just doing a basic summary, but identifying something in your source that relates to your claim, and then discussing how it relates to your claim and how it relates to another source. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes? No? Charlie's on board. Okay. Ethan.
So a hard copy of the outline and 2 plus sources of.
Yeah, basically, like the best way to do this would be just open up a Word doc, construct your outline. Say that's a page long. Say that's a page and a half long. However long it is. At the end of that document, just attach the 2 citations for your additional sources, and then you can just bring in the 1 hard copy. So you don't need to do your outline on 1 page and then your sources on another page and bring 2 different deliverables in. You can just staple those together in 1 document. So I'm just looking for the outline and then the 2 additional sources. That's it. We're not.
Is the outline the one we sent you from homework last time?
That was some of the information on the argument template was for the outline, but the outline is going to follow your standard format with like the Roman numerals and the letters.
So you want us to elaborate more on it and really type it up?
The purpose of the outline is to establish a structure within your essay. So the outline is going to help you show me how you're structuring your essay, what you're going to talk about point 1, what you're going to talk about point 2, and then what your supporting evidence within each one of those main ideas is.
Fully detailed or just?
It's not fully detailed. An outline is just going to be just kind of a general sort of.
Like so you get an understanding of what was going on.
Yeah, refer to the links that I sent on Blackboard, and it'll show you a basic outline. And then the video we watched the other day as well.
Read the emails.
Yeah, read the emails. Emily.
7 on my computer.
Yes, for this week, that's it. That's all you need to do. Do the outline, find 2 additional sources, and then, like I said, this is going to be something that's not due Sunday night. I know that's different. We're just going to bring these into the individual conferences. Okay? Cool. Questions? Concerns? Layovers? You good? Okay. So today we're just going to do a workshop day, and there's some options with this. If you want to get ahead on the outline, obviously just work on that today. Mine for some additional sources, that's always a good idea. You can do an outline before finding your additional sources, but it might be a good idea to kind of do those both together. Some of the additional sources might give you some new information that you hadn't expected to find. And if you really want to get ahead, you can start working on the intro paragraph or start blocking out some information for that. I left a link on Blackboard, so refer to that, refer to some of the sample essays. I'd recommend working on outlining and additional sources today, but you have a few options, but we're basically just going to be workshopping for the next 40 minutes. With music, of course. Yeah, sure. Yeah, give me 1 minute and I'll cue that up for you. Anything else? Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll come see you, Jack. All right, well, let's hop on OneDrive. Let's hop on ProQuest, whatever you want to do. And then I'll just start getting some work done for the research. Remember, it's worth 25%, so keep that in mind. And then one last thing, I put my address up on the board again. Make sure you know where you're going on Monday, okay? So if you need to Google search that, get out a Wayne State map of that, just make sure beforehand you know where you're going so you're not late, because that's going to really mess up everyone else's conferences, okay? So be respectful and show up on time. Cool, I like that shirt. All right, let's do it. Rock. William, music. Nickelback? Okay.
Come on.
William, so you don't get Bob. Do you have a second choice? Who can say? What? You want Nickelback? He said Nickelback. I'll put in Nickelback. We'll have it on for about good.
That's why she meant that. The phrase so different from Nickelback.
Okay, well, can you just see
Like, well, are you even a 90s kid? Is that like your...
I'm sorry?
No.
Oh, no, you're fine. You're a couple minutes late, but.
It was pretty bad.
Right.
I'm trying to explain it.
I like it though.
Yeah, there's... We got a couple jams.
They're overplaying it pretty bad.
All right, so. All right, you guys over here. Hop on one drive. It can work. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I think that I think you're fine. Yeah, you know, like that's from my point of view, you know, I'm not a free asset. The logic of that free asset. That there's actually like a contingent of people that you know are okay with very serious illiteracy. That would work better. That would be tougher to prove. Yeah, you're definitely going to find a way. Yeah, because you're definitely going to find a way. So that's what you want to find. Yeah. I'm bringing them a little bit more, but that's a better argument. And one last thing, when you're looking, 1 minute, when you're looking for your additional, understand real quick. When you're looking for your 4 additional sources, one thing to pay attention to, since when you look on the outline, I'm going to be looking at for evidence of like a counter argument against your claim. It's a really good idea to find one of your academic sources, or for one of your academic sources to actually talk about the counter argument to your claim or the counterclaim to your claim, like someone who is an opponent to what you're trying to prove, and then include that in your research. Okay? It's not a requirement, but if you're going to be talking about the counter argument to your claim, it's a good idea to find a resource that talks about that counter argument. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's do that.
I found
Therese? Yeah, Enrique. Yeah. Yeah, you're going to put that cover about you can preface that in your introduction. You can briefly mention, you know, but that's, I mean, that's a really good idea. You should do that in the introduction. As far as the body of your essay or just in the introduction? You want to, I mean, you want to persuade for your side throughout the body of the paper, but you want to take into account the counter part of your argument, and then you want to address that. Most of your essay is going to talk about your claim, but you want to at least briefly, you know, refute the other side's argument. Yeah, I mean, go ahead. I read it all in the argument template, so if I made any notes like tweak this or reword this, maybe go into that and refine it. I'm not sure what I wrote for yours specifically, but just make sure the thesis statement follows the basic structure of the rebuttal argument. Yeah. And, I mean, use your best judgment. You know. Yeah, I would include more of yours, but you want to mention the counterclaim to it. Okay. No, no.
The domain.
Oh, you did the box for video games? you just looking for like background on like a statistic instead of actually like research? If you're just looking for a statistic, you don't, yeah, that's not going to be included in your work study. Yeah, you can include that like in your works cited, but I wouldn't, if it's just like a statistic, I wouldn't count it as an introduction. But you're still gonna want to cite where you get information from. Try to find something a little bit more like legitimate that states that, you know? Yeah, maybe try to find something a little bit more legitimate, because that app will use the statistic that you want, and you can also use that source for when you're finding sources. So you can actually keyword in there. I'll be right over, Lloyd. I'll be right there. So you're gonna want to do that. What's your claim? Introduce audience to this crisis. Okay. You want to at least let your audience know, like, you want to foreshadow that at least in your introduction, though. You don't want the audience to wait all the way till your conclusion. You want to at least foreshadow, here's what I plan on presenting. My eventual claim is going to be this, but you want to at least foreshadow that and give the audience an idea. You have your homework up here, your argument templates. I know I made some notes on yours in terms of like the thesis. Okay, so you want to evaluate. Okay, so you can. All right. Okay. Yes, like an evaluation argument. Do that in the introduction. You could do that in the introduction. Based on these three criteria that I'm going to be evaluating and based on the supporting evidence, et cetera, my claim is or my thesis is that this is the best. You do that in the introduction. And then you'll tie that back in the conclusion. You know, but you wanna preface that right at the beginning. Okay? No, I like where you're going, but yeah, I would review really quick the structure of the evaluation argument in the Wayne Rider. But yeah, you want to evaluate this based on this, this, and this. And then your research is all going to be focused on this, this, and this. And then remember, you know, try to get an opposing viewpoint somewhere in here as well. Somebody who's like, I don't think this is the best way to go. You know what I mean? Because when you're doing the evaluation, you're saying like, this is good, or this is the best thing, reactor, whatever that thing is, because A, B, and C. There's going to be an opposing viewpoint that says, this is the best thing, this is the good thing. Because of B, you want to briefly review. Good. Okay. Cool. Look. Oh, okay. Oh, good. So they already All right, after this is done, after that. Yeah, you can use that format if you want. You know, that's just a basic template. If you want to stick to that, that's perfectly fine. You know, that's a classic outline. Okay. The one thing you can tweak is where you talk about like the counter argument. You can put that like as your first paragraph, or you can put the components of this. You can interweave those somewhere in here, or you can just stick to this. I just stick to this. Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. 7 total sources. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you don't have to do one paragraph per source or anything. No. Yeah.